Jenever is an amazing old world style spirit that was the grandfather and predecessor to modern day gin. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 classic amazing cocktails that you can make with this wonderful spirit. Before we have what we know as gin today, we had Jenever. This amazing spirit from Holland and Belgium is just wonderful, complex, and delicious. And if you actually want to learn more about it, I did an entire video breaking down what this spirit is, where it came from, its history, and why it's so important. And you can check that out right over here. In this video, I'm going to be making for you 3 cocktails: the John Collins, the Martinez, and the Death in the Gulfstream. 3 classic, amazing cocktails that call for Jenever as the base spirit that really showcase and highlight the best aspects of this amazing spirit. But before we get into all of that, my name is Louis and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I post cocktail recipe videos, I talk about my favorite spirits, I teach you how to make amazing drinks, and I talk about what it's like to own my own restaurant and bar. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, come on over here, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell icon to never miss out on any of the videos that I post. But all right, let's get back to what you came here for, because we got a lot of cocktails to make. So the first one I'm gonna make for you is the John Collins. The John Collins is the original version of what we know as the Tom Collins. And the Tom Collins is a very classic gin cocktail that calls for gin, lemon juice, sugar, and topped with soda water. The John Collins was actually the original version, and it used Jenever. So let's jump right into it. We're gonna grab our shaker. This is a shaken cocktail, and we are going to do 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. We are going to do 1 ounce of simple syrup. It is a pretty standard sour recipe. If any of you know what a sour is, 2 ounces of a spirit, 1 ounce citrus, 1 ounce sugar. And then we are going to do 2 ounces of our Bobby's Jenever. This is a pretty light version of a Jenever, and it has a lot of similarities to a London dry style gin, but it does have an awesome little maltiness to it. And then we're going to fill this puppy up with some ice, lock our tin, and give it a good shake. All right, pop that open. Gonna grab our Collins glass. I'm going to be serving this over 1 really awesome long ice spear, and then we are going to double strain this into our glass. And then last but not least, we're gonna top it with soda water. We're gonna do a little lemon wheel, because it looks pretty. But all right, let's give the John Collins a taste. Smells lovely. That is quite good. It is, again, as you can probably imagine, it's pretty similar to a Tom Collins. It's very refreshing because of the soda water and the lemon and the sugar. But you do get more complexity, I believe, than you would if you just made a regular Tom Collins. You get some of that maltiness coming through that the Jenever is known for. And it's just an excellent, refreshing cocktail. It is a perfect summer sipper and a great application for Jenever when you don't want anything super heavy. And you know what? If you like gin, I highly recommend you just trying to make this in general, just to give you something different to taste. But all right, we're gonna set this one aside for now and move on to our next cocktail. So the next cocktail I'm gonna make for you is the Martinez. The Martinez is a cocktail that many people consider to be the predecessor to the modern day martini, which is by far the most popular cocktail in the whole world and the most famous. The Martinez was originally made with Jenever before it eventually got replaced with Old Tom gin, whereas today if you go to most places it's probably just made with London dry style gin. But the original Martinez was made with Jenever. So this is a super classic cocktail, and one that people say is very historically significant because it did give birth to the martini. Now, some people dispute that, and there's a lot of different people who talk about that. Is how I was always taught. Let's just jump into the cocktail. So we're gonna grab our mixing glass. This is a stirred cocktail. And so this is another pretty simple cocktail, but it is gonna call for equal parts of our Jenever and our Italian vermouth. So we're actually going to do 1.5 ounces of our Carpano Classico. We are going to do 1.5 ounces of our Notaris Genever. This is a aged Genever. It is much more similar to a Scotch whiskey or a whiskey base than the Bobby's Genever. Again, if you want to know more about Genever, I do recommend checking out that video that I did just post recently. So 1.5 ounces of our Notaris Genever. And then it actually calls for anywhere between 2 dashes to 1/4 ounce of Curacao. I'm gonna do 1/4 ounce because I quite like Curacao. So 1/4 ounce of dry Curacao. And last but not least, 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters, because Angostura Bitters makes everything better. And then let's fill this up with some ice, all the way to the tippy top. And we are going to stir this down and get it nice, diluted, and chilled. For those of you wondering how this gave birth to a martini, the first thing I need to tell you is that this gave birth to the real martini, not what a lot of bars do, which is just shaking vodka over ice. First of all, vodka belongs in no martini, in my opinion, and it barely belongs in any cocktail. The best recipe that I know of for a martini is gin, dry vermouth, and a dash or 2 of orange bitters. And so that's pretty similar to what I put in here, with Jenever, the sweet vermouth that we did, and the Curacao. So all of those things are pretty similar to what is considered to be a classic martini recipe. And I'm excited to try this. All right, so we are going to grab our cocktail glass, or our coupe here. Put our julep strainer in our mixing glass. Pour it over the top here. Ooh, that goes pretty high up there. Some people garnish with a Luxardo cherry, but I find that that's a little too similar to a Manhattan, and I like doing an orange peel over this. So get a nice, tasty, delicious orange peel. We're going to express the oils over the top. Rim the glass, give it a nice little twist, and rest it right on the edge. You can discard if you'd like, but I like to make cocktails pretty. So let's first admire it, because that is a beautiful color for a cocktail. And then let's give it a sip. Oh, wow. That is, wow. If you like Manhattans, this is very, very similar to a Manhattan, but it's just weird and complex. It's very similar to a gin martini mixed with a Manhattan. And if you like both of those cocktails, this is the cocktail for you. It is definitely the cocktail for me, and I'm a big, big fan of this. You get some of that maltiness, you get some of the juniper. The sweet vermouth is a great complement and partner in this cocktail, and the orange Curacao gives it a nice light fruity flavor to it. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Give this one a shot. And the last Genever cocktail that I'm gonna make for you today is the Death in the Gulfstream. This is said to have been one of Ernest Hemingway's favorite cocktails, and that man loved his booze. He loved himself some cocktails, and so I trust him. And so this is a cocktail that will be served over crushed ice, but we are going to build it in our shaking tin. So first thing we are going to do is 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. 1 ounce of lime juice. We're going to do 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. Hemingway's version calls for not that much sugar, but he was also a diabetic, and I like my cocktails balanced rather than bitter the way that he did. So we're gonna do 3/4 ounce of simple, and then we're going to do 2 ounces of our Genever. We're gonna use Bobby's Genever for this one. 2 ounces of Genever. And then we are going to add just about 3 cubes, we call them agitator cubes, just to really bring all of these ingredients together. And it's also gonna be our indication of how long we should be shaking this for. And then we're gonna pour it into a low ball and serve over crushed ice. So we're gonna lock our tin, and we're gonna shake until we stop hearing the clicking from the ice. So And that just about does it right there. It should have been enough to froth and mix all the ingredients together. We're gonna pop that open. Grab our low ball here. Pour this right into our glass, just like so. And then we're going to fill this up with our pebble ice. And then the last ingredient is about 4 to 6 dashes of Angostura Bitters over the top. And then for the garnish, some people say you can do lime zest or a lime wheel. I'm gonna do a little bit of lime zest. I have seen some people garnish it with a mint sprig just for that freshness, but we are going to grab some lime zest and just go right over the top with it. So we're gonna grab our zester, a nice fresh lime, and just right over the top of this cocktail. Man, that is a beauty. That is a very, very beautiful cocktail. We're gonna grab 2 little sippy straws. I'm gonna try not to ruin this. I still have to take the thumbnail for this video. And then we're going to take a little sip. Ooh, ooh, that is good. If you like gimlets or anything along those lines, this is very, very similar to it. If you take a sip directly from the top so that you get some of those bitters, it actually even changes the cocktail even more. You know what? Forget the straws. Much better to drink without the straws because that is tasty. That is a fantastic cocktail. And yeah, I guess it makes sense. Ernest Hemingway really did know what he was doing. So this is spectacular. That is excellent. It's nice and tart. You get some of the maltiness underlying from the Genever. It's not super, super sweet because we didn't use a full ounce of simple syrup. And the Angostura Bitters on top really combines all of those ingredients together. Highly recommend you checking this one out as well as the other ones in this video. And there you have it, guys. 3 amazing Genever cocktails for you to try. Please let me know down in the comments below which of these 3 look the most appetizing, and let me know if you make them. I really am always trying to engage with the folks who watch my videos. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. It helps me get shown to more people, and I need your help to grow because the more that I grow, the more videos that I can put out. I do run a restaurant full-time. I have a real full-time job. I shouldn't even be making these videos if we're being honest. These take up a lot of my time. I do my own planning, shooting, editing, lighting, all of that. And so doing that while trying to run a restaurant in the middle of COVID, I'm not sitting here saying this for a sob story, but what I am saying is if you enjoyed these videos, help me. And all I'm asking for is for you to subscribe, hit that like button, and give me a comment because the more of you that do that, the more people that get to see me and the more that I can keep doing this. I really am putting my heart and soul into these videos, and it's very difficult to do it while working a full-time job and running an actual restaurant. I'm not just some guy on YouTube. I actually do run a restaurant. So it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like and leave a comment down below for me. But that's enough from me. I've got 3 cocktails to choose from and drink from, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.